Someone asked me an excellent question the other day. They asked me if you can have toxic ancestors. The answer is yes. Stay tuned, let's talk about it. Hi everybody, welcome back to another video by Pan Society. I'm Cherie, and today I want to talk about toxic ancestors. Someone brought up a question, and that was, can you have toxic ancestors? And the answer is absolutely yes. If you have someone who had substance abuse issues or chronic mental illness, and I'm not trying to demonize mental illness, and I'll explain more about that later, or someone who was a murderer or a rapist or a thief or just psychopathic, they carry those traits on over with them if they don't change, and that could be problematic if you're trying to use them and they do want to be prominent in your life somehow. So just like in real life, if you have people like that around you, you can always set up boundaries, have healthy boundaries. You don't have to work with ancestors that make you uncomfortable or have any of these issues, because sometimes their interest is not your best interest, right? And like unhealthy relationships, it can cause you more detriment than it can actually help. Now, I always ask myself, is this an energy I need? And is there something I can learn here? And if the answer is no, then emphatically I do not want them in my life. So I do not try to build a relationship with them, and I ask the ancestors that I do have relationships with to help me with the boundary there so that I don't want to communicate with them and talk to them. Now, on the other hand, there's the mentally ill. So if you've had have an ancestor who had mental illness, so it's not necessarily that they're malicious, but it could be a chaotic energy that you don't need in your life anyway. So that's not something you really want to work with. So those are, you can ask yourself if they need help moving on, moving over, or if they just want to be around. And if they're harmless, you don't need to call on them at all. They can just be around. But if they are causing you issues, you can ask them to leave, or once again ask your other ancestors to help you build up a healthy wall or a boundary so that they don't have to be in your life and you don't have to use them in your workings. I love this question, especially because as new people are tapping into that ancestral energy, these are things we always want to keep on our mind and always want to think about, because if those tend to be the first ancestors that answer you, then you're just going to have a horrible experience and it's not going to be healthy for you. So don't call on ancestor energy unless you absolutely need to, but always build a relationship with all of them so you can get to know them. And if you don't know anything about them, which a lot of them, it's probably going to be like that, you always want to build that relationship up first so that you know what kind of energy you're dealing with. If you have any experience with a toxic ancestor, comment down below, let us know. I'd love to talk about it because experiences are amazing. Like, I've heard some really awesome stories about this, and then I'm also very interested in hearing tips and tricks on how you dealt with those kinds of ancestors. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time in another Pan video.